Hey everyone, so today I am going to be filming my update for like my palette rotation. The last video I did was at the end of February, I think, and I said, oh, I'll probably do an update at the end of March. Yeah, that never happened. So I have 3 months worth of palette rotations to go over, but I figured I would make them really short and kind of just tell you what I've been using, what I thought, whatever. So I will start off with what I used in March. Now, I believe it was the Lorac Pro 2. So this is what it looks like. You know, nothing crazy, haven't like hit pan on anything. But I will say I got very tired of this. I used, obviously, a lot of the 2 transition shades, Nectar and what is this, Light Brown. Yeah, and I pretty much stuck to like these 2 and maybe these few right here, mostly beige and rosé. You can see that mocha isn't really as touched, but what is this? Yeah, beige has a pretty big dip in it. I think you can tell that. And rosé has a decent dip as well. I don't know if you'll be able to see the use on Light Brown and Nectar, but they definitely have more use. I just wasn't feeling the darker tones. I usually love chrome, but I just wasn't feeling it for this time. I think I like, I don't know, like the other half of this palette, like chrome and silver, more towards the end of the year, like in November and stuff. I love those looks because I'm wearing a lot of like black and deep burgundy grays, and that color is just fantastic for that. But it was kind of, you know, getting into spring more, and I wasn't feeling a lot of this palette. Then for April, I kind of had the same thing. I believe I used the Urban Decay Naked palette, just the original. Same story. Used, honestly, only from here over. I did the same thing as usual. Really only 1, 2, 3, 4. The first 4 shades. I love, 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 love Sidecar on the lid. I love Sin on the lid. Naked is one of the best transition shades for me. I also love, I believe this is Virgin for an inner corner highlight. But yeah, I love Sidecar on the lid. It's really one of my favorites. I think it's super, super pretty. Again, when it's kind of springtime and you want something maybe a little bit darker. It's obviously not a dark shade, but it has more depth to it than a super light shimmery color on the lid. So I loved those first 4 shades. That's something that I go for a lot, and you'll notice similarities between the 2 palettes because I pretty much used the same type of shades, you know, the really light, shimmery, and then mid-tone mattes. So I think for someone like me who doesn't use a lot of darker colors, palettes like this are sort of a waste for me because, like I said, I didn't even touch any of these shades. None of them. I don't even know if I've ever used these 2. I mean, probably once or twice, but I mean, Hustle and Dark Horse look untouched, especially Dark Horse. Toasted I'll use sometimes in kind of like the outer third-ish area if I'm using Sin, but for the most part, I just want it super, super simple. Just something in the crease and then a color on the lid, maybe something on the outer half to deepen it up a tiny bit. But yeah, I don't know about this. You know, I like it, but it is annoying having like a third of a palette being used and the others not even touched. And then for May, it is currently May 26th, so I'll maybe do my makeup a few more times, but I'm sure my opinions won't change on this. I pulled out the Lorac Unzipped Gold, and I feel like it was maybe a little premature to pull this out because generally I like something very golden in like the depths of summer, but I figured that if I use this in May, by the time like, you know, it's really, really, really summertime, like in July, that I'll be able to like cycle back around to this and it'll be fine. So I'll just use something different for June. I'm not sure what that'll be. Well, it'll probably be the Lorac Pro palette because the only other ones I have to choose from are the Naked 3 and the regular unzipped, and both of those are very pinky, so that's not gonna happen. But this is what the palette looks like. I have actually loved this, and I've loved it for a different reason than I usually have. Now, the mattes are not my favorite at all. I've been combining this with a Kat Von D palette that was passed down to me from an aunt, and I've been using those. Like, there are a few matte, like really perfect transition shades. That's what I have like as a transition today. I used some of Undeniable as a crease shade, but if you'll notice, it got hard pan, and I don't know why. Like, it's not like why would, usually a product gets hard pan on it if it has like mixed with oils, so sometimes certain face powders will get it because you're obviously putting it on your face and then putting it back in the powder, but I don't know why that would have happened for an eyeshadow. Seems strange to me. I've never really used the other ones. I mean, these two shades are so similar. This one's just warmer, so it works better with the rest of the palette, but the main draw for this palette for me has always been Unleashed. This is the most metallic, insanely pigmented, like deep gold leaning copper, more of a copper color, but with less orange. I've always loved that one, and I've only used it once this month while using it. I went on a little vacation and did my makeup, I think 2 or 3 times, and I only used it once when I was there. It makes for a super easy eye because you just put it on the lid, something in the crease, and it's like boom, that is all you need. Gosh, I'm like so zoomed in right now. But what I've been loving this palette for recently, and this is what I have like all over the majority of my lid, is the shade Uninhibited. It looks like absolutely nothing special, but it just has so much brightness to it, and like it doesn't even look like anything special on the, like in a swatch, but I have it all over the majority of my lid. On the outer portion, I have Unpredictable. Those are the more peachy tones, and the ones on the bottom are definitely more gold. You can see that. But I've been loving this. I spray it with a little bit of setting spray, and I also use the NYX Milk Jumbo Crayon as a base, and that really helps it pop and really helps it stick. I would definitely recommend that. The combination of using a white base and using a setting spray to kind of foil it, I mean, I just love this. Like, it's nothing super, super crazy. Obviously, because it's a lighter color, it's not going to pop as much as something that's deeper, like a bright gold. But I love this. I don't even know if I've used this one, the lighter gold. I think maybe once. I do love these. I mean, they make my eyes pop a lot. My boyfriend noticed through FaceTime that my eyes looked different when I started wearing this. He was like, did you do something different to your eyes? They look like, they just look different. Like, they like pop more. And I was like, are you serious? Like, I just started using the golds. So I thought that's kind of funny. But put a little bit of that shade on the lower lash line today. But yeah, super simple, but I think it's bright, it's fresh, it's just really pretty and simple but put together. It matches with a lot of things. Again, in the springtime, I wear a lot of like pink tones, like blush tones like this. I wear a lot of the same colors all year round, but this just is so perfect because you can go peach or gold, which I really like. So I'm surprised that I like this so much because I had never really used those shades a lot. I'd really stuck to this one, maybe Unlimited. But yeah, I've really been liking it. One thing that I have been thinking about recently is depotting all of my palettes, because I notice that, you know, like I've been doing with this little series this year, I pull out a palette and I use that palette, and it limits my creativity a lot. I wish that I could just have all my eyeshadows out in a Z palette or two, depending on how they would fit. And it would just make things so much easier. I could mix and match things and come up with more looks. Like, there are shades in the Lorac palettes that are a little bit more colorful. You know, like this jade shade is beautiful. Like I've said, the chrome shade is really pretty. It has like that more kind of purpley silver. You know, there are the matte, colorful shades. The same goes for the Pro palette. There are a few, I believe, more colorful shades. I can't even think of what they look like right now, but I'm very, 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 very unlikely to be like, oh, I'm using this palette, I'm using the golds, I want a pop of that olive green, so let me pull this out. It's not gonna happen. So I feel like if I depotted all my shadows and had them in one place, I would, for one, get a lot more use out of a lot more shadows, but my eye looks would be more varied, more interesting. So yeah, I'm just scared of ruining my shadows because I just know that, like, the ones that are going to get messed up are going to be my favorites. Like, that's just how it's going to be. Like, I would never break, like, this navy shade that I'm literally never going to use up. It's going to be something like beige or a color that I really love. So that's just sort of making me be like, I don't know about that. But let me know what your experience has been with depotting shadows. I have 2 naked palettes, 2 unzipped palettes, and 2 of the Pro palettes. These don't look too hard to do because they are cardboard packaging. So you could just bust this out and then kind of, you know, twist it. But still, I'm just so scared of, like, putting a little thing in there and just thinking, yep, I'm going to pop it out. Like, I know I'm going to have some casualties, and that freaks me out. So yeah, those are the palettes I've been using. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for June. The Pro is definitely going to be it because it is like pewter, light bronze, gold, those type of shades. That'll be a good one. And then I'll probably go back to this. So yeah, leave me your thoughts, what you've been thinking about different palettes, your eyeshadow looks, and also your experience with depotting. I would love to know. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all are having a fantastic day, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye, everyone.